Okay, so I'm kind of getting anxiety talking about all the books I want to read in the fall. I'm like, I need to get going on this. Hey guys, Holly J here, aka Planet Ginger, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am an aspiring author that is currently working on 2 work in progresses, Project Fairy Tale and Project Romance. I am also an avid reader, a Disney lover, and a travel junkie. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today we are going to be doing a fall TBR video. Today, currently actually in the PNW here, we are a typical moody fall day. We got like some rain in here and some like 60-degree weather, and we got football. I'm wearing my Seahawks sweatshirt, not my jersey because we already played the game, we already won, we're all good there. Also, if you do hear background noise, we have the Mariners going right now in the living room because the Mariners are also doing extremely well this season. I do love football and baseball, and fall season just screams sports. I have a lot of books that I kind of want to read in the fall. So basically I kind of lumped up my TBR for fall into continuing series that I want to read, new books that I want to pick up and read, and then I'm going to end with new releases. I will say, I don't know what I was going to say, actually. Really don't know what I was going to say. Let's just dive right into it because we got a couple things that we want to go over here. Number 1 on the continuing series or finishing series, I'm actually going to talk about a reread I'm doing. I have a little series in mind that I'm going to come out with that are vlog style videos, and it's going to be talking about my Throne of Glass reread. I'm all caught up on Sarah J. Maas books, but I want to go through and reread them all because it has been probably 2 years since I started reading Throne of Glass. I started reading ACOTAR, I think in 2020 or maybe 2019, and then Crescent City was right before Throne of Glass, so it was a couple years ago. So I don't really remember what happens in them very much, and I really picked that up in these rereads of Throne of Glass that I've been doing. So I just thought it would be a fun little series to do of me rereading those books. Ideally, my plan is once I'm done with my Throne of Glass rereads, I'm going to dive into ACOTAR again, and then I'm going to do Crescent City. So be on the lookout for that series if you are interested. So that is number 1 on my fall TBR, is continuing my reread of that series. Number 2, or actually we'll just do continuing series that I'm reading for the first time. Number 1 on that list is going to be Ruthless Vows, which is the second book after Divine Rivals. I don't know what the actual series is called. I think it's called like Enchanted something. I don't remember what the official name of the series is called, but book 1 is Divine Rivals, book 2 is Ruthless Vows. I do have Ruthless Vows in process right now too that I am currently reading, so hopefully I'll be finishing that up soon. I think Rebecca Ross is coming out with another book, and I kind of felt like I saw that it was a prequel to Divine Rivals. I'm not super sure if I'm correct on that or not, but that could also be a book that I potentially would read in fall. I feel like Divine Rivals does give good fall vibes. When I read the first book, I was like, yes, I'm so glad I'm reading this right now because it is kind of like I don't know, it has like a fall vibe to it. I really enjoyed the first book because it was almost read like a historical fiction, which is weird because it's not. I mean, it's very like, it does have fantasy vibes in it, but I really, really enjoyed the first book. I gave it 5 stars actually, and I had been on like kind of a kick of giving things like 2 or 3 stars. Like I just was not reading very good books, and that was my first 5-star read in a long time. I'm really excited to see where Ruthless Vows goes. So number 2 is the Dark Fae series. So if you don't know anything about Zodiac Academy, let's talk about Zodiac Academy for a second, because I was unaware of 90% of the stuff that I'm going to say right now because I started Zodiac Academy and I did not realize there's so much that goes into this series that I just was not prepared for. So Zodiac Academy, as you can tell, it starts right here and ends right here. Like that's a lot of flippin' books to read, and they're all like big. So I was already intimidated enough starting book 1 of the series, and then I found out that there's more books. There's 2 other flippin' mini series inside of this series. And I was like, oh, for heaven's sakes, here we go. So I read book 1, 2, and 3 of Zodiac Academy already. And apparently what you're supposed to do after reading book 3 is you're supposed to stop and you're supposed to read the Dark Fae series. definitely didn't know that. But luckily I had just read book 3, and then I happened to come across a TikTok that was talking about the way to read Zodiac Academy, and it said to stop right there. So I was like, oh my gosh, apparently I need to stop and switch over to this Dark Fae series. So that's what I did. I have read books 1 and 2 of the Dark Fae series, so I will be reading hopefully books 3, 4, and 5 this fall, and then I can dive back into Zodiac Academy and start reading that again. My goal this fall is to finish the Dark Fae series, finish books 3, 4, and 5, so that I can get back into what I consider the main storyline, which is Zodiac Academy. I do really enjoy the Zodiac Academy books. I'm not entirely digging the Dark Fae series as much. It's a lot more smutty in my opinion, and I'm just not in that vibe right now. And I don't know, the characters just like aren't as likable for me. So I don't know. We're just going to continue the series. We're just going to get through it. And then I would like to just get back to Zodiac Academy ASAP. So that's goal number 2 for the fall. I will say Zodiac Academy and the Dark Fae books, I feel like they definitely do give fall vibes. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a dark academia kind of setting. So I think fall would be a great time to just sit and binge all of them and just get through them. Not these. I'm not going to get through all these, but I will try to get through the Dark Fae series. Third and final book on my continuing finishing series, fall TBR, is Daughter of the Siren Queen. I just finished reading Daughter of the Pirate King not very long ago, and I actually ended up really enjoying that book. I really liked the character. I thought she was a little badass redhead, and we always love the badass redheads, you know, for female main characters. And I actually enjoyed her relationship with the male main character. I enjoyed the pirate lore in it. I thought it was a well done pirate book, and I have not read a lot of well done pirate books. I find a lot of them that I read to be kind of, I don't know if I want to say boring, because they're like not necessarily boring. I don't know if it's like lack of character development for me or what, but the pirate books I'm thinking of that instantly come to mind is I read Fable, and I just didn't really like it all that much. Like, it was an okay read, but it wasn't great. And then I also read what was that book called? Hold on, let me look at it. So the other pirate book I'm thinking of is called A Ship of Bones and Teeth. That one also was not bad, but it wasn't my favorite. I just kind of felt like I kind of was just like skimming it towards the end, and I just kind of wanted to see what ended up happening. Another pirate book, which I don't even really consider that a pirate book. I'd probably consider it more of like a mermaid sirens book, but I did read To Kill a Kingdom, and I did enjoy that book. I thought that was pretty good, but I will say, as far as pirate books go, I really did enjoy Daughter of the Pirate King. I thought it was really well done. I think I gave it 4 stars. So I definitely did enjoy it. And I do want to pick up the second one. I just get fall vibes when I think of pirates. So summer/fall vibes, I guess, depending on the scenario. I just thought that was kind of a fall vibey book, so I do want to read that this fall. Now moving on to new reads for the fall. Some of these I'm really excited for. These are just kind of things that have been on my TBR for a while that I've wanted to get to and just haven't, and I feel like the fall time would be the best time to knock them off my TBR. So number 1 is Belladonna. And Belladonna, I feel like I have a little hair on my nose somewhere and I'm trying to get it off. Belladonna I've wanted to read for a really long time now, and I've actually started to read it at one point, but I think it was at the beginning of summer, and I was just like, I am not in the mindset to read a book that's such a vibey fall book when I'm going into summer. It just wasn't the right time. I didn't want to force myself to read it because I knew I just wouldn't like it because it wasn't the right time. I feel like it is the right time now, and I would love to pick up Belladonna again and actually start reading it. I have heard nothing but great things about it. I think there's 3 books in the series, and I don't know if it's gonna stay at 3 books or if there's gonna be more. From what I've heard, I think it's just 3. That's not a giant series that I'm starting, which is kind of nice, especially when I'm in the midst of Zodiac Academy. I just don't need any more big series. Like I said, I just feel like I'm more in the mindset to read that book right now. So that is number 1 on my new reads for fall. Number 2 is actually a classic that I would like to read. And ironically, I'm embarrassed to even admit this because I am an English major. I literally graduated with a major in English creative writing, and I have never read Wuthering Heights. Like I said, I'm embarrassed to say that, but I just haven't. I don't know why. I feel like Wuthering Heights and Pride and Prejudice are like two just like major romance novels that like, if you're gonna be a romance writer, like I feel like you have to have read those books. One of my main goals for this year has been to read 3 classics. I've already read one this year. I've already read Peter Pan, which actually was kind of a study for one of my fairy tale pieces that I'm writing. So I did want to read the original Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. And yeah, Wuthering Heights is up next, I think. I feel like it's a perfect time too, because Wuthering Heights is kind of getting a like resurgence right now because they just came out with that trailer with Margot Robbie in it and Jacob Elordi, and it's getting a lot of backlash. People like aren't really like, they don't really know what to expect about this movie coming out because it's like erotic, and Wuthering Heights is not an erotica. It's a classic. People are like, this is not Wuthering Heights, you know, and they're getting really upset about it, but I'd like to see what the spin ends up being on it. I have seen some people analyze it online and talk about how, since the title is in quotation marks, maybe it isn't a direct adaptation of it, but it is like an inspired by. People were talking about how maybe Margot Robbie's character is reading Wuthering Heights and she's like trying to live out a fantasized version of the book. I think that would be kind of an interesting take on it, but I think regardless, I do kind of want to watch the movie just to see what it's about. But before I do that, I want to read the classic for myself because I've wanted to for years now, and I just think like classics are kind of a fall winter vibe, but they just give more like cozy sitting at home and like reading your little classic. It just is kind of a vibe. So number 2 on my new reads fall TBR is Wuthering Heights. Number 3 on my new reads for the fall is A Discovery of Witches. So this book has been on my TBR for a very, very, very long time. I have heard so many good things about A Discovery of Witches, and I just have never had the inkling to read it. I don't know why. I think I just always had other things that I just really wanted to read over that one. And you know what? I'm just feeling like it's fall. I want something a little different. I think I want to read something that's like not super popular at the moment, not something that's like trending necessarily. So I would love to pick that book up. And I mean, it is about witches, and that's like perfect for fall vibe. Speaking of witches, that also leads to number 4 on my new reads for the fall. I would like to read Heartless Hunter. And Heartless Hunter has been super popular. I haven't heard a lot about it lately, but like at the beginning of summer, book 2 was just released. To my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it's about a witch hunter and he falls in love with the witch that he's supposed to be hunting. Something like that. Again, it's giving that fall aesthetic with the witches, and then, you know, it's a nice little romance, and hopefully it has a lot of fantasy in it as well. That is number 4 on my new reads for fall. Okay, so I'm kind of getting anxiety talking about all the books I want to read in the fall. I'm like, I need to get going on this. Finally, we get down to the new releases, and I just have 2 new releases to read for the fall, which one I already knew about, and the second one I actually wasn't aware was getting released, but I did like the first book in the series, so we'll talk about that in a minute. The first one is Wildcard by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th book in her Rose Hill series, and it actually just got released not very long ago on September 9th, so I would like to read that sometime soon. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have not been in a big romance mood lately, especially romance books with like smut in them or anything like that. I don't know. So I don't know when I'm gonna be reading Wildcard. I want to give it a good read through, you know, a good chance, because I will say already, her Rose Hill series is not my favorite. There's only been one book in that series that I like really, really liked, and then the rest of them have been pretty like mediocre, but I would like to be caught up in the Elsie Silver universe. Number 2 of the new releases is actually Mate by Ali Hazelwood. So this is book 2 to Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I actually didn't even know that she was coming out with a second book. I think I had heard it when she came out with Bride that she was potentially going to come out with more. I didn't realize it was coming out so quick. So apparently that comes out October 7th. I would probably like to read that one potentially right when it comes out. I'm not super sure what I'll end up doing, but that is a book that I would be interested in because I did really enjoy Bride. I thought it was pretty captivating. So, all right. Well, that is pretty much my roster for this fall. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my fall TBR. Please let me know what's on your fall TBR. And if you've already read any of the books that I have talked about, please let me know what your thoughts were on them. I'd love to see what you guys are reading. And if we have any similar books on our fall TBR, that would be cool to know too. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and give this video a like. I will see you on the next one. God bless and bye-bye.